Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Software Engineer K here, and today we're going to be going through some pretty cool stuff. So as you guys have seen, we have had a huge uptrend that has continued since yesterday and the past few days on OMI. So we're going to be looking at that and just my thoughts on whether I think OMI is currently sat at an overvaluation or not. We also are going to be looking at another artist that has been featured on Davy's Instagram and a couple of interesting things that he's worked on. Just because his name, I knew straight away who it was, so I just wanted to share with you guys a little bit on that. And lastly, we do have a couple of other additional cool tidbits on Twitter, so we'll be touching on that as well. Now, firstly, if we go straight to GoChain Explorer, now the number of total holders as of today for OMI has hit 125,000. Now, it wasn't that long ago. In fact, it was probably about a month ago when we were sat at about 100,000. So the number of users has increased by 25% in just a month, which is actually quite a lot. So that goes to show that there is more distribution of OMI from a few, centralized holders across now to, what we might call the still, I would say, early adopters. Maybe after Comic-Con and they get all the marketing out, we could start to talk about the mass adoption from there. But I would say people getting in now are still quite early. So that is really, really cool. And I think what's going to happen is moving forward, as we get more natural adoption and as we also roll in the MTL as well, the money transfer license, so people can seamlessly move their OMI and gems and kind of transition between the two and move that into fiat, we should then see a lot more distribution of OMI along with the burn rate increasing as well. So I'm pretty excited to see, just how much of an effect that has on the market, because as we know, as at the moment, there are some, I guess, individual users or individual holders of OMI that hold quite a lot of OMI that can manipulate the market. So it would help with kind of reducing the hold that, single users or single holders of OMI have on the market. Now, next is Jeremy Padua. So he is the global license holder of the Pokemon kind of toy collectible license, and he had this to say. He said that VeVe had a 3-year head start on digital collectibles. Al, David and Dan showed me in 2018. I was skeptical. Al Khan at 74 carefully curates projects. I bought OMI early, held the dip. I feel very optimistic. No guarantees. So Jeremy Padua, he is an early investor of OMI. He stated earlier that he hasn't sold a single token, and obviously he's the Pokemon guy, so a lot of cool things just to kind of say there. But the main thing that I just want to touch on is he said that VeVe had a 3-year head start, and this goes back to my point of, people always say, hey, VeVe's brands aren't exclusive, Binance can come in and just use the brands, or another competitor come in, they can just get the brands. Yes, but because VeVe had such a big head start, what VeVe can do with the brands, specifically AR digital collectibles, that in many ways can be exclusive. So you might be able to get, Marvel on Binance, for example, but you may not be able to get, a 3D AR Iron Man on Binance if VeVe has already taken that. And given that they had a 3-year head start, they were already, drafting up these contracts for which characters they can use and what they can do with them. And I'm pretty sure, given that it's a company founded by collectors, they knew exactly which characters to go for, what format to get them in, all of that stuff. So I am not worried at all about competition. If anything, competition will help VeVe. Now, next, David Yu on his Instagram, he is following a very interesting artist, Daniel Arsham. Now, I knew this straight away just because I have a pretty massive collection of Uniqlo t-shirts. And Daniel Arsham, he did actually do a Uniqlo collection. So if I show you guys that, so this was a collection he did in, I think it was 2020, last year. And you guys can see, if you can't tell, it is Pikachu in his kind of a crystal art style. So he tends to do this art style quite a lot. And let's see if we can see this one. So he's got like Pokemon Trainer one as well. Now, Daniel Arsham, he is also on, you guys can kind of see his Uniqlo clothing. He's also on OpenSea. So if you just go straight to OpenSea, you guys can kind of see he's got his Crystal Pikachu here, and his art style. Typically what I've noticed is a lot of these artists, they have like kind of their own, I guess, specific trademark on their art pieces. So we know that Ron English, he's got that kind of grin face on a lot of his characters. We know that Frank Kozik, he has the kind of whole backstabbing, no, well, not backstabbing, but the whole like labbit kind of thing going on, with like the cigar in their mouth. And yeah, Daniel Arsham, his thing is kind of a weathered down crystal rock kind of stuff. So you can see here that this kind of weathered down crystal telephone, what looks like a was it eroded Porsche, eroded Pikachu. So I think Daniel Arsham would be pretty cool to get. And obviously, if you kind of search up his name, kind of the recent stuff he worked with was this kind of Pokemon collaboration, and there have been so many Pokemon kind of hints being dropped everywhere. So who knows? Maybe we'll get something interesting in the coming days. Now, next, what I did want to just touch on is, so tomorrow at 12 p.m. PT or 3 p.m. ET or 8 p.m. GMT, whatever time zone you're in, we'll be having a kind of big live stream with myself, Wannabe Champ, Daniel Lee, and Taps Trades. So we've had some questions sent in that people just kind of want us to address. A couple of those questions I tend to get asked as well quite a lot, and I've just never kind of like addressed them in a forum. I have kind of tried to address them in AMAs, but sometimes they're not appropriate for AMAs. So this is just going to be a chance to address some of these questions, and some of the questions I've seen are already really good. So if you have any questions, just leave them in the comment, or I have retweeted this, so just comment them below here. Actually, I'll retweet this again just for you guys. So yeah, that's retweeted. Now, lastly, the stuff that you guys have been waiting for is the price of OMI for today. So if we just zoom out now, we were testing this point of resistance here. We broke it, we came down for the retest, and we just continued upwards. We broke down again, retest, and broke again, retest, and then we just continued upwards. Now I've just drawn a channel here, and you guys can kind of see that we were trading within this zone here, and we pushed to the upside and we just completely smashed through. Now what that tells me is I personally feel that OMI right now does need to come down a bit. I feel like this movement isn't too natural. Now if we have a look at the volume was gradually increasing, and you can see it just literally shot up. It went by threefold, and given that there's no news or anything, I feel like this is probably just FOMO. And yeah, I think really OMI shouldn't be up here so fast. I think it should spend a little bit of time around about this region here, just continuing on this trend line. So I feel like if OMI sits at around about 0.35 cents, that would probably be better if it just sits around there for a couple of days and then pushes up to 0.4 around about here. So in a day or two from now, and then just continues around about this 0.4 region, just stays there until the end of the week, and then I'd feel comfortable with it moving upwards. I feel like it's definitely due to come down. So I would say maybe set some pending buys, because that's what I would do. But again, what you do is up to you. This is not financial advice. I don't tell people to buy or sell. I just tell them what I'm doing. So if it was me, I would probably look to set some pending buys around about 0.35. But yeah, what's pretty cool is right now we have kind of come back. So if we just have a look here, so we're back at the same levels that we were at around about mid-May, which is pretty cool. So we've pretty much gone through this whole dip, and now we are moving upwards to ideally I would say 0.5 cents, which is kind of a comfortable point. I would say that's a fair valuation, and as Bitcoin recovers, that's where I believe we will then break 1 cent. If Bitcoin doesn't recover, but we get some good news with OMI, then that's perfectly fine. I think we will still break 1 cent, just because we are now starting to get a lot more adoption. So pretty cool stuff. That's pretty much everything I want to go through with you guys today. As always, please do like and subscribe to support the content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.